The performance is outstanding. We can offer it to the consumer at an affordable price.
Hey everyone, Dean Snell here, back again for another version of Tech Talk. I think I'm going to try to do something a little different this time. We did get quite a few questions about performance and overall performance and multi-layers and how they affect performance and what happened over the time. So I think I'm going to use my little trusty whiteboard here today. It might be a little bit longer than usual, so bear with us, but hopefully it digs a little bit deeper into some technology with respect to overall golf ball performance. So a lot of the questions come up and say, how did multi-layer change the performance in golf over the years? And remember, this goes back into the 1990s, like in the mid 90s, I think the old two-piece golf balls were out there. So if you take a look at this chart, what I tried to do here is I tried to put the club at the x-axis, which is driver through sandwich. So it's your whole performance of your clubs, the whole set. And on the y-axis, it's the spin rate. So low spin rate to high spin rate. And what happened over the years when you had two-piece golf balls, you had a kind of a curve that was like this. So the driver spin was very low with the two-piece golf balls. So low spin, high launch gave you distance. That's why they've always been long. But the problem was that the tour players could not use them because the spin rates on the wedges were also low. So the golf balls would slide up the face, come off high launch with low spin, and weren't controllable. Those are what a lot of people call kind of flyers or jumpers. And it happens in the two-piece golf ball side to it. Back in the 90s, you had golf balls that had performance like this, which were the Tour Balata golf balls. Okay, Tour Balata golf balls had very high spin with the drivers. Players would try to turn the drivers down to try to lower the spin, have low launch angle, lower spin, but they were shorter, but they had the spin performance that the players wanted around the green. So it's why they used them. Step into the mid 90s and we did a golf ball called the Titleist Professional. I'm sorry, let me go back a minute. If you step back into the early to mid 90s, we worked on making two-piece performance golf balls. They were two-piece performance. These would be your golf balls from Bridgestone that came out, the HB2 Tour from Titleist, the SD90s. Those golf balls now gave a little bit more spin with the wedges and irons, but they also added a little spin to the low spin two-piece ball. Mid 90s, you had a product come out that was a wound golf ball that was called the Titleist Professional. I think 95, 96 is when we introduced this. So what happens is we were able to lower the spin rate with the driver, which added yardage. So when we did the testing with Mickelson and Davis Love, these guys were excited about it because they were gaining distance. They also liked this because it took some spin out of the wedges, which allowed them now to get to the back pins. Their complaint to us was a lot of times, I can't get to a back pin with the Balata balls, they spin too much. So we were able to control it a little bit by lowering the spin, which gave us that thought to say, you know, if you can get something in here, that's great, and something in here, that would be ultimate. So what happened was we started to work with multi-layered golf balls. So the multi-layered golf balls, running out of markers, the multi-layered golf balls started to be developed, and you started to see strata and some of these balls come out, you know, and they would have curves like this, you know, and sometimes you could even have something like this. So adding layers into the golf balls allowed us to now bring the driver spin way down, the Pro V1 type golf balls, way down, which added more distance to the ball. But we can control what we want that wedge spin to be for the players. This is why you see a lot of multiple versions of multiple golf balls offered by almost every company with different levels of spin. So that's done and controlled by the performance of the ball. So the driver spin was the goal here, and everybody's kind of falling into that low spin. And then here, we can control what we want with the wedge spin. So the players have options. So this is what's given players more performance with more choices in golf balls. Now, how this spin curve works out on a 3-piece golf ball, that could also be changed, you know, with 4-piece golf balls and 5-piece golf balls. So every time you can add a layer, typically the layer would be added and the performance would change further away from the green. So the 5-piece golf ball layer was added to really work in this range here with the longer irons, but the urethane thin covered performance around the greens was still there. So over time, 2-piece golf balls and wound golf balls have kind of disappeared to the performance side of golf. Tee to green performance is delivered by multi-layer golf balls. So do not today choose a golf ball based on distance. You want to choose a golf ball today based on where you guys play the game the most, which is in the short game from 100, 150 yards and in. This is where they're different today. This is where you want to test them, and this is where the performance will benefit your game. Thank you.
The performance is outstanding. We can offer it to the consumer at an affordable price.